We're running out of time. We got half an hour.
We are. I don't have... It's 1:30. No.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
I don't want you to miss your meeting. Do you want to just talk some things out first? Or jump straight into it?
No, let's jump straight into it.
Okay, yeah, sure, go for it. You start.
Yeah. I think we've been starting.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Hello, hi, and welcome to the very first episode of Critical Arcade. This is a brand new podcast. Welcome. With me, I've got David. Hello, David.
Hello, hi everybody. As you can see, we're still quite new to this, so forgive us our mistakes.
Please do, or ream us on Reddit. We don't really...
That's fine. Laugh at us, point at us, throw things at us, we don't mind.
Well, I mean, we say we don't mind, but deep inside...
Yeah.
Deep down inside, I'm going to be talking to my therapist about this.
I'm already sitting in a corner, rocking back and forth.
No, but welcome. This is our podcast, the project we've been working on for a couple of months now. It's really something that we've been wanting to do for probably the majority of our lives, but we've never actually found a method of doing it, and that would be trying to make something out of this huge hobby we have.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I'm sure everybody at home listening, that they've all thought they could start a podcast or start a stream or something like that, but you never get the time or the people around you, and so we decided to ignore all those thoughts and just to dive straight in.
Go sit down, job. Who needs a job?
Yeah, who needs a job? Let's just play games and talk about it.
Right. So in this podcast, I've always imagined this is going to be some sort of book club, but for video games. So here's my thought: a video game club.
Oh, whoa! Out of the box thinking there. Each
week, we are going to take a video game from the past, anywhere, any generation, any console, any year. We're going to be taking a random video game. We're going to be playing it for a week, maybe not even finish it, because some video games can't legally be finished in a week. I don't think you can legally finish Final Fantasy 14 in a week.
Nah, that'd be no, exactly. I think that's near impossible. And
the entire continent of Japan will be taking up arms and hunting me down like some sort of international fugitive.
Yeah, and I just do not have the skill level those speedrunners have. Like, no. I watch those things, and it just makes my brain hurt. They are very talented, and also do not have any friends. Well, with great talent comes loneliness.
Anyway, we've set up a huge sheet of games that we're going to play.
It's a big shiny, like it would ha with like angelic noise if you could see this sheet. It's beautiful.
It does on my computer, but that just might be a defect with my speakers.
Yeah, you should look into that.
For this week, first up, we have got Digimon World.
Yay! The
very, 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 very infamous PS1 game released. What was it? 1999.
Yeah, 1999. 23 years ago. I was but a wee lad.
Yes, no, I was even weer than you were.
Yeah, yes, you were quite wee, no doubt.
You see what I did there, David?
Yeah, no, you're doing so well. You're learning. It's one of those hot topics. People, and I'm going to go off the subject a bit now. People are always like, Digimon's just Pokemon with guns, right? And it isn't a bad point. You know, everybody loves a Pokemon.
Who says that?
Oh, there's people, and they'll be out there. We'll hear from them. Don't you worry. But then I put to you. If nobody put an earthworm and didn't give them a bazooka or grenade, we'd never have Worms, the game. Like that game, I'm sorry, like I said, I'm showing my age now. The original Worms and all the Worms games after that are amazing. So Pokemon with guns isn't necessarily a bad concept.
That is, I've never thought about it like that. Pokemon with guns.
Yeah, well, that's what they're not too far from the point. There are a few things with rocket launchers and swords and stuff like that.
But in Digimon's case, it is quite literally Pokemon with a gun.
Yeah, there's one Digimon, I can't remember its name, when it digivolves, its hands turn into miniguns. like, it's a bit crazy.
It's wacky, but in a good way.
But I like it. Yeah, I like it. There's nothing wrong with it.
So, Pokemon with guns in a good way is definitely not how I would explain Digimon World.
No, sadly not.
That's Pokemon with guns in a bad way.
Yeah, like, yeah. Sadly, you know, I remember years and years ago, I went to Blockbuster Video. Don't know if anybody else can remember that. And I remember renting this game for the weekends. I was so excited. It was Digimon. It was raising Digimon and fighting them. You know, what else could you ask for? And even I remember being about 12 years old, and I put it in and I played it for an hour or so. And unfortunately, that was about it. And I've had the same experience.
Okay, we talked a tiny bit about this before this recording. You shared a screenshot.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, okay, like I say, in the gameplay, you have to raise these young Digimon, and you want to evolve them into the best badass version of them. You want the ones with the guns and the flamethrowers, and you want to just destroy and kill every other Digimon anywhere. They're like, who doesn't want that? And then the criteria for raising these, as I'm sure it was very much the same as the Tamagotchi high, also in about 1999. I don't know if everybody remembers those little digital pets. You had to feed, you had to play with, you had to pet, you had to, I don't know, smile at.
Tamagotchis, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the exact same premise. But in the Digimon game, the criteria is also exactly the same. You have to make sure you feed them exactly on time, and you've got to make sure they go to the toilet on time. Now, that was one thing I wasn't great at. I'm doing my best. I was trying my best, and unfortunately with this game, one of the most terrifying concepts is when your Digimon comes up with the little poo emote, and then you've got to just run. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you've got to go run to the toilet. And it's the most stressful part of the entire game.
It is.
Like, at one time I was just fighting another Digimon, don't know his name, and then it needed to go to the toilet, and I didn't know where the toilet was. And I tell you, it only happened 3 times. And then, on hours and hours of play, my little Agumon digivolves into, I think it's called a Numamon, and all it is this turd-throwing slug.
Thank you, Digimon World 1999 for the PS1. Thank you very much.
Exactly why I don't have kids. Because what happens if the same thing happens?
If you don't take them to party, they turn into turd-throwing monsters.
Exactly. There's a life lesson for everybody out there. Yeah, exactly. But the other thing that adds insult to injury is that and this made me laugh. The one premise of the entire game is that, it does a lot, but it leaves the turds on screen, so you're reminded how bad a Digimon parent you are. So that doesn't matter where you go. You're always reminded. There's always a turd. You can't get rid of it.
Yes.
Remember. It's most upsetting. Yeah, and and if you have another Digimon, they look at those and go, "Wow, what happened to the last one?" I found it. That was. Maybe I'm sitting in that corner again, rocking back and forwards.
That's from these memories of your experiences with Digimon World.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I almost had the same experience. My Agumon, I can remember, also needed to go take a shit, but fortunately, most of the times that it happened, I was training, and the training in-game, the training field is right next to a toilet.
Yeah, I knew that one. I was adventuring too much, but yeah, you're right.
It's almost like this game is indirectly punishing you for adventuring too much.
Yeah, which is, Digimon. It's, fundamentally an adventure game. But anyway, I digress.
But that's bad game design.
Oh, 100%. No, this game was... It felt like this game was made for the Tamagotchi high, let's face it. It isn't great. It's got the nostalgia feels, don't get me wrong, but it's... and even during the training, you can train your Digimon in different stats, strength, agility, and stuff like that. They do this bonus one where you get the reels, like a slot machine reel.
Okay.
I defy anybody to land 3 of those.
I did this once.
Yeah.
I know it. Yes. This to get extra points when training.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about, yeah. That was
I did
so
this
hard.
once. It's very hard. It's impossible.
It is pretty much impossible. Like, they go so fast, and you've got to learn which one... Hell, even one of them was a golden turd. I'd love to know what that actually got you. Like, 3 golden turds. What does that do for you? I can't imagine it's good.
Not that I find an issue with the slot machines per se, but the frame rate of this game on the PS1 does not help at all.
No, what? It's hard to compare, like, because people get so used to 60 frames and 100 or
Yes.
whatever people are getting.
Yes.
That. You know, it's hard to compare things to today to back then, because there were some aspects I actually genuinely enjoyed. You know, it makes when the Digimon battles, for example, when you battled one another, you know, it was actually quite an active little scene. If you compare that to like what even Pokemon is doing today. The battles in Digimon were actually more fun. You could dodge, they could block. It was all like randomly generated. It was a roll of the dice. It had more intensity to it, which I find Pokemon games kind of lack.
I agree with you totally when we compare it to Pokemon, but I found the combat extremely frustrating. I could not understand how to do anything.
No, not really. I must admit that apart from just waiting to see what happened was basically the only thing I did. You just let them go and they just do something or dodge something and shout. Yeah.
The only option they give you at the start of the game is to shout your call.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know.
That's it. After my Agumon digivolved into what was it? Oh, I can't remember.
Tyrannomon, wasn't it?
Tyrannomon, that's
thing.
right.
Yeah.
After he digivolved, then I got another option to attack. But it was still either attack, your call, or run away.
Yeah, it wasn't not very much depth in that system.
No.
Did you, out of curiosity, did you ever actually spell out final?
Yes,
you know,
I did.
Oh, I never did.
A couple of times.
I got FIN, and that was about as far as I got.
I did spell it out a couple of times. Actually, I think a bit into the game, into the next area, the next island.
Yeah.
It's just a huge jungle island.
Yeah, you did better than me then.
Everything else is exactly the same. But
Yeah,
I did spell out final a couple of times, and that actually saved my bacon.
Oh, really? Special move or something, right?
There are some Digimon that are much quicker than your Digimon is.
Okay,
right?
fair enough.
Even if
Yeah.
your speed is high, there's always a faster Digimon.
Yes, of course.
If you encounter one of these faster Digimon, they can stun lock you very easily.
Oh, really?
They can stun lock you into the ground.
Oh, wow. I didn't have that problem. Didn't get as far as you, by all accounts.
The only way that you could beat this faster stun locking Digimon was, well, training your speed is the boring way. The funner way is spelling out final and then just hitting them with your ultimate.
Oh, okay. Well, at least that sounds fun. You know, that's one.
But it's frustrating to get the letters final and then doing this ultimate. I don't understand. How was this play tested?
Yeah, I know, but this whole game, and if you actually see lists of people's nostalgia games they want for the PlayStation 1, it is actually Digimon World 1 is on it.
No.
I don't get it. Maybe we were far easier to please back in the day. But yeah, it is on there. Yeah, and it's funny because it'd be on there as well as like Metal Gear Solid and stuff like that, which are far superior games.
Yes.
You know, in every way. But no, there'll be Digimon World or a Final Fantasy and something like that. Will be on people's top 10 PlayStation 1 lists. It's bizarre.
No, I think that is a very clear case of Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. I think people just like punishment to some degree. Yeah, they like to. Well, another strange thing. Do you know who published Digimon World?
No, I do not.
Bandai, the company Bandai. You must have heard of Bandai.
Before they became Bandai Namco.
Correct. So Bandai made the Digimon games. They made basically a lot of anime-esque type games, and then they merged with Namco, and then continued to make lots of anime games, and also one other very important game.
Dark Souls.
Correct. And Elden Ring, yes. Which is crazy. Isn't it crazy?
It is. I don't. I don't get it. How a company goes from this
Yeah, exactly.
to
From small acorn to big tree, right? Just like this podcast, I might add.
yeah. Oh yeah. Critical Arcade. Subscribe now. Tell your parents.
Yeah, tell you and grandparents, your pets,
Yeah,
that guy
yeah.
on the street that smells funny. Tell him
Yes. Everyone.
to. Oh, where were we anyway? Digimon.
If I can hard pivot.
Go on.
The very first cutscene that you see in this game. Did you watch the entire thing?
Yes, I did.
That is some A grade bullshit.
I thought it was creepy as hell myself.
It
but yeah,
smells. It smells.
it was. Did you ever play Theme Hospital, the original one by Bullfrog years and years ago?
No, but I played Theme. What was it? Theme Park.
Yeah, that's right. They
Theme
had
Park
the
World. Theme Park Land or Theme Park World.
yeah. They had the same type of animation at the beginning of the screen. I remember being as a child. I remember being freaked out by the animation because it was almost marionette, like weird facial structures that aren't moving organically in any way. And that Digimon reminded me of that as well. That first scene was mental.
It's horrific.
It is. It really is nightmare-inducing.
So I enjoyed watching that, but I soon after did not enjoy myself watching that at all.
No.
It was, I mean, the dialogue even was bad.
The dialogue was
What
hilarious.
they were saying, these overacting
Yeah.
voice actors that they got truly gave it their all.
Yeah, no, they they did for the small amount of money I'm sure they were paid. Because I love some of the writing in it. There was one part where you're meeting Digimon, the weird hairy fella, and he says that cliched line with love and friendship, your Digimon will grow to be super strong. And then you as the player replies, thank you. And that's it. Just thanks. Like it's like that awkward thing when somebody says I love you and you don't love them back. Just yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was funny. I know. I always look at the funny in things.
But that conversation with Digimon, if I was a kid being absorbed into a cell phone, and all of a sudden I'm looking at this Furby that's just telling me these.
Yeah, this is perfectly normal.
Silliest things.
Mm-hmm.
I would not react the way that kid reacted.
Yeah,
He very quickly accepted his fate.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't even know if he's going to go back home.
No,
this is it now. This is it. I'm living around like Digimon.
He might not see his parents, his friends, his home.
No, exactly. That doesn't matter. There was a town to rebuild. That is far more important.
Yes, a town of fake digital pets.
Yeah, sorry. Forgive me, listeners. I do like to rant every once in a while. I found an Agumon, and he said he was going back to town, and then I could never find him again. Did he open a shop? No. I looked around. He was nice and everything. I think I saved him. I can't remember, and I couldn't find him.
Yeah.
This was one of the problems I had with the game. There was another thing. When you're raising the Digimon, you have this smiley face, which you instantly presume was happiness. So I thought, okay, I've got to fill up the happiness scale. That seems reasonable. And then there was another one that was just the only words was DISC, so disc. So I was like discomfort, or was it? And then I found out actually it's discipline.
Oh, right.
It's discipline. So I was supposed to scold or tell it off more or something. But it doesn't tell you. And let me tell you, ladies and gents, the figure for discipline is a blue face with shades on.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that was their icon.
What?
For discipline.
Is that what? Oh. What?
Yeah, I had no clue. I had to look it up. Because I was like, what is this little gauge in the corner? I just didn't know. It kept going up and down and up and down. I had no clue what it was.
Oh, I didn't know this at all. The game tells you... The only thing the game tells you is that you could raise your Digimon with love and friendship.
Of course. The power of love and friendship.
Then they'll grow big and strong.
But I do like I said, I do like to look for where developers or, I don't know, software people. I don't know the term. Where they like to add those little things in. Did you notice? You know, when you raise the Digimon, you have to feed them meat and food and stuff like that. And
yes.
There was a Digimon that owned the meat farm.
Yes.
Right? Now that Digimon is called... One second.
First of all, the concept of a meat farm is insane and very PG.
Yes. But I love about it is that that Digimon was called Tanamon, right? And it was basically an onion that talks to you.
Okay.
But I do love the idea that somebody thought it'd be hilarious to have a vegetable raising meat. You know, I love that somebody thought flipping that around would actually be quite funny. At least that's what I like to think. I like to think there was a developer out there that said, if it's going to be a meat farm, a vegetable's going to run it. I love the way they switched that around. I thought that was
a great catch. That's a great catch.
Apart from that, this game was just boring.
Oh, it was. It was very boring. I didn't enjoy anything.
Go back to it for
game.
the nostalgia. Go back for it for if you really want like almost masochistic ways of raging Digimon, because there's no way you're going to be growing that War Greymon or I don't know the names, the really cool ones that everybody wants. I'm sure they're out there. You know, you're just not getting like if you want work and Digimon, this is the game for you.
Hell yeah. Work, and that's a perfect way of describing this. This feels like work.
It was. The whole thing was just so tenuous.
Yes.
It was just painful. But part of me enjoyed it because it was like me going back to my childhood. I can't lie. There's something about picking up an old game, even if you're realizing it's kind of crap, it kind of reminds you of the fun you had as a child.
That's the nostalgia factor. So, David, at the end of these episodes, we are going to take the game that we just played, we just talked about, and we're going to give it a score.
Yes, we are.
We're going to be
break
scoring
them down and score them harshly.
Yes.
In this regard, anyway.
Yes. Digimon World's going to feel it. We're going to be scoring...
Oh, yeah, no, they're going to need therapy, yeah, no doubt.
We're going to be scoring the narrative, the visuals, the audio, the gameplay, and in some cases, the performance and value for money as well.
Yeah.
Right. First of all, we don't need to specifically say what we gave them all. So then we get a point out of 40. Right? What do you have?
Out of 40?
Yes, because it's narrative out of 10, visuals out of 10, audio out of 10, and gameplay out of 10. Right? Have I got it wrong?
Yeah, okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. No, correct. Yeah, it's fine. God, I'm not even sure if it's making it to double digits on my end.
Mine is just making it. I've got 10 out of 40. That's 20.
Mine is the same. I got 10.
Yeah, that's 25, 25%. That fails.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it fails hard.
So, for our valuation, our assessment of Digimon World 1999 for the PS1, we have scored this game an F on our Let's Grade scoring system. Digimon World fails as a video game. Those who remember this game fondly somehow might have just picked up Stockholm Syndrome. This game is not fun. This game is big. There's a lot to see.
Yeah, and if you're into the anime and stuff, there's probably an extra level of involvement or immersion. But
right,
if you're not, there just isn't.
No, there's very little in this game, even for a PS1 game. There are quite a number of others that I could think you'd rather spend your time with.
Oh yeah, and to be honest with you, I've also been quite polite with my things. You know, when you're grading them, you know, I don't like to just be like bad all the way through. I try to go, well, at least that was something,
yes,
and this was, you know, passable. And sadly, that was basically the whole experience. It was doing that the whole time.
Unfortunately, right.
That said, I've read and looked into the other Digimon worlds are supposed to get better as they go on. So
which I'm very excited for, because we do have Digimon World 2, Digimon World 3. We've got the Cyber Sleuth games.
Yeah, which they're not too bad. I know that personally. No, they do get better. So this is like the low point, and we can only go up. Hopefully.
Hopefully. But those are on the list. We'll get to them eventually.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of podcasts to come, people.
On that note, thank you for joining for this episode of the Critical Arcade podcast. We will be releasing these episodes weekly.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But yeah, weekly. No, we're going to keep to that. We're going to be weekly.
We are going to keep to that. So thank you for joining. Yep. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Will do. See you then.